And we're back. Another episode of Flushing It Out. Well, maybe this is the first official episode of Flushing It Out. First episode, first new episode where we're now on all of our new platforms: Instagram, Twitter, podcast, Apple Podcast, Spotify, Amazon Music, everywhere. So go check us out if you're listening to this. But big day for the Mets. They finally locked down James McCann. That was kind of a drawn-out process over the past couple of days, but because I know the Angels came in and caused some issues there, but we locked him down 4 years for 40. And also we got our new GM, Porter. Jacob Porter? What's his name?
Jared Porter.
So a lot going on. So let's just start right off with reactions on James McCann. One of you guys can kick us off.
Winter, you want to start it off?
I'll start it off. Listen, McCann, like I said earlier on Twitter, McCann is not Real Muto. I think everyone realizes that. But McCann is the guy. If we're one piece away, Real Muto is the guy. That's obvious. But we're not one piece away. We're multiple pieces away. And a guy like McCann is going to be great behind the plate for the pitching staff. He's got a great bat. We've seen him improve over the past 2 years. And guys just like throwing to him, and he looks like he's a great teammate. And he's just going to fit in well with the established core. Yeah. Is he going to turn us around right away? No. We still need other pieces, and signing him over Real Muto gives us the flexibility to make those extra moves that can get us into that contender range.
Yeah.
So I think it's the perfect signing the Mets needed and the perfect start to this offseason to show the fans what their goal is for.
Right.
I had gotten into an argument this morning after that news came out with a Yankee fan and a Red Sox fan.
Of course.
Because they said that we overpaid for McCann. And I was like, really? I was like, $10 million a year is nothing.
Yeah.
I mean, same thing Windrum said. It's just like
I think $10 million a year is how much Cohen pays for his yacht gas or whatever, power his yacht.
Honestly.
With Real Muto, it was mostly like, I think they said he wanted like 6 years or 175, which is just like, I mean, listen, I'm not going to turn him down if they would have gotten, like, I would have taken him. He's the best catcher in baseball. I would have taken it.
Yeah.
But this opens up spots for, like, you can go out and get Springer, maybe even also get Bauer, leave spots for something like a Liam Hendricks, something like that. But with Real Muto, a 6-year deal, and I know I was reading today how one of the main factors as to why, like, they got McCann to a 4-year deal is because of how high they are on Francisco Alvarez. And
who is that? Is that their catching prospect?
Yeah, that's their top overall prospect.
Oh, okay.
They said he's 3 years away,
which is perfect.
Yeah.
He'll have 1 year with McCann to learn from. He'll learn how to be a big league guy, and then right into it. And another thing too is, especially about Alvarez, now that you bring it up, the way the direction is going with the Mets, we're trying to once again build a pitching staff through the farm system. You're going to have to look at it is McCann is not going to be the guy that is going to be catching your pitchers for the entire time, and neither would be Real Muto. It's going to be Alvarez. He's going to be the guy that's going to have these relationship with these pitchers. So by the time these pitchers are ready, Alvarez has to be ready with them. If they're already building a relationship with each other, all of them have to be ready together. And if that's 3 to 4 years away, based on the pitchers and Alvarez, then it's the perfect timing with this McCann deal because you won't feel bad about not re-signing him.
Yeah. Because I kind of had like mixed feelings on McCann because he wasn't Real Muto, and I guess now with Cohen, we all just want the best now. Like go for the best pay, like whatever. But then I kind of did more research on him, looked at his stats, and he's pretty solid. And one of you guys said it, like pitchers like throwing to him. I think while he was with the White Sox, like Giolito was the guy who like always wanted McCann instead of Grandal. And even S&Y put out some graphic going over their stats and like their frame percentage. Like they're almost neck and neck offensively like the past 2 years. And obviously like, JT is like a leap behind the plate. I'm not sure if McCann is at that tier of Real Muto. But yeah, like personally, I love it. And you guys are right. It opens up a lot more room for Bauer or Springer or both or Hendricks. But it's going to be curious to see how Cohen navigates around the luxury tax, whether he says fuck it and just like shoots through the roof or whether he wants to try and stay under it.
I think I read about 153 mil on the payroll right now.
Okay.
Which is actually the exact same amount that he paid for the Pointing Man statue. But you were talking about McCann and the defense, I think that's probably the best part of his game that's just going underlooked. I was looking through the advanced stats earlier, and he's got a 35% frame rate, which is great. It was like I think it was like the top 5.
What does that mean? Like he like steals a strike 35%
Well,
of
yeah,
the
he
time?
steals balls that could be strikes 35% of the time.
Okay.
In
Okay.
comparison to Wilson Ramos did it 25%.
What, like 2%?
He was 25%, but I mean 35% is great. I think Real Muto is only about 38. So it's not like there's a big discrepancy in defense.
Yeah.
And I mean, like you said, Giolito loved throwing to him. Guys just like him behind the plate. And that's something that you have to like about with the staff, the way our staff is set up right now. I mean, these aren't young guys. These are guys that are trying to win a World Series. I mean, Jake, Noah, Stroman. If you get a Bauer, Peterson.
Bauer wants to win, dude.
Exactly. You need a catcher who will be back there for these guys that is going to win, not a prop.
Yeah.
I mean, Real Muto is a guy too like that, but if you're building a winner, you need multiple pieces to build a winner, and I think McCann is the first step of building.
No, it would have handcuffed them like a tiny bit. Like, obviously there's probably no real handcuffs with Steve Cohen, but depending on how he wants to deal with the luxury tax, it definitely just gives them so much. It probably saved them like 12, 13, 14 million a year.
Yeah, he was going to ask for he was going to probably ask for 20 to 20. Yeah, 20 to 22 a year, and he was asking for 6 years for a catcher, a guy who's 30. He's not going to play behind the plate until he's 31. He's not going to play behind the plate for 6 years.
Yeah.
You're going to have to find a spot to put him. Is he going to DH for you? Is he going to play first? But you got Pete and Dom there. He was just going to be more of a headache.
No doubt. So I think McCann is awesome. One of you guys said it, like just like his attitude and the kind of teammate he is. Like I've heard him speak before, seen videos of him. Like looks like he's a fun guy, and like we do have a pretty young, fun group with like JD and Dom. Well, like those two are kind of up in the air, like whether they're going to stay if the Mets decide to make a trade. But like Pete, Gimme, Jimenez, all those guys, Stroman, just like a fun group of guys. So I think McCann will fit in well. And also, to kind of backtrack a little bit on the Trevor May signing, because we didn't really cover that. I think it's a great signing, small deal, nothing crazy, talented guy, strikeout guy. I mean, I'm sure you guys agree.
Yeah, I mean, that was one of our biggest spots where we needed to improve with last year is a bullpen. It cost us a good amount of games, like it always does.
Yep.
And just bolstering that and adding a couple guys, because as much as we hated on Diaz, it did seem like he figured it out after last year. So you keep a guy like him, you got Lugo, now you got May, and then you get a guy like Hendricks. You still have Betances, and I saw today that they brought back. It's a minor league deal, but they brought Jerry Blevins back.
Yeah.
So
he was serviceable. I don't know. He was whatever. I didn't really care about him.
3.9 ERA last
like him. He had a what?
His best year.
3.9 ERA.
It's whatever.
His best years were 2016 and 2017. Those teams, but I mean, he was a Met for 4 years, and with May as well, you can never have too much bullpen.
Yeah.
I mean, you always need guys to be back there because guys can't go every day. All that. I mean, I like the signing. I think it shows that we're going to look at the bullpen more than we originally thought. Now it makes it interesting with Hendricks. Are we really going to go full steam on Hendricks now that we signed McCann instead of Real Muto? Or are we going to, wait and see with him if he's one of the best?
No, and like what I want to know is like how would you guys handle like going into the Bauer sweepstakes? So we could let's just say that we already have George Springer, right? Let's just say like that's a done deal. Would you rather have Bauer, or would you rather sign like a Jake Odorizzi kind of guy and then go out and get like a Liam Hendricks or a Brad Hand or something like that? Because one of you guys mentioned it before, how McCann makes them like a better overall. No, it was Winger. We're talking about like just like a better overall team. Like you can hit on like a lot of other pieces now. So like because personally, I would love Bauer. I love everything about him, but I think that getting like a Jake Odorizzi, Corey Kluber, I don't know, whoever else is like on the market, like those lower level guys, and going out and getting like a Liam Hendricks, like that would be a nice back of the bullpen, and then you could put Lugo in the rotation too, so you have a lot of safety nets there.
I don't know. I mean, you make good points with that, but this is a win now team. Like the way we are designed, we need to make a win now move.
Yeah.
And, Odorizzi's a great piece. Kluber's on the older side, but he's still solid. And then, adding a Hendricks or a Hand would be great. But the rotation right now is still too iffy. I mean, when we went to the World Series, we had multiple guys that we could trust that front of that rotation. Harvey, DeGrom, Syndergaard, Matz when he could pitch. I mean, we could trust those 4 guys going out there every day.
Yeah.
I mean, right now, the only guy we can 100% trust right now is Jake. I mean, Stroman hasn't pitched in a year, realistically.
Yeah.
Syndergaard hasn't pitched in a year. David Peterson made, 12 starts, 10 starts?
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many question marks across the rotation. I think it's a better move to go get that proven guy to slide in right behind Jake and know that you have 2 workhorses at the front of your rotation, that if you said to them, go get me a win, they'll go get you a win. I mean, having an Odorizzi who could slide in at round 3 to 4 is good. He'd make the rotation deeper. It'd give more flexibility letting Lugo in because then you could put Hendricks back there. But in my opinion, you just got to go all in and go get that workhorse at the front of the rotation to go with Jake.
That's fair. Yeah, that's fair. Mouth, what do you think?
I gotta agree with Windrum. I feel like getting a guy like Bauer is it's too important come playoff time. Because, I mean, I know it's a little scary because he's had 2 really good years, and every other year it's been, like, mediocre. So, like, paying an insane amount of money.
Right. That's like one of like my only gripes about. Obviously, if we get Trevor Bauer, you will not hear a peep out of me in terms of complaining or whatever it is. But yes, he is a very talented pitcher, and maybe he just broke through his own. Maybe he'll be like a Randy Johnson type guy and have like a successful like run in his 30s. But like, I don't want to give him $30 million a year, $25 million a year. And
that's once a year.
Right.
But if he could keep what I'm not going to say I expect him to do what he did last year again. That's just that's asking for a lot. I mean, what did he have? Like a 1.7?
Yeah. You can't expect that.
That was Jake over a full season level numbers.
Yeah.
If he could consistently be where he was, I think it was 2 years ago, where he was with the Indians.
His first season in Cincinnati.
Was it his first season in Cincinnati? He had like a 2.8.
No, you're right. It was like I think 2 or 3 years ago with the Indians. He had a really good year.
Yeah, I think it was.
Yeah.
So if that's enough, where that's a season where you pay him big money. If I knew he was going to stick with that I would do, because you go into a playoff series and you have DeGrom pitching game 1, and then you have that Bauer coming in game 2. I feel like that's huge to get a jump start on the series like that, especially if we got fans again. Having a guy like Bauer firing up Citi Field and being at stadiums again. I can't wait for that.
He'd be great for New York. You're right. He'd be great for New York.
Well, I don't know. I mean, it's tough.
Right.
It's down to the price tag.
Yeah. I mean, I guess there's really no like bad option, because if we get like a Jake Odorizzi and then go out and get like Liam Hendricks versus just getting Bauer or maybe like another like small level like reliever, like the team wins any which way you go, here. And Cohen and Sandy are doing a great job, and now they're going to bring on what's this guy's name? I keep on forgetting his name.
Jared Porter.
So I don't know who the hell this guy is. I don't really care, because Steve Cohen could bring in a guy off the street and say that's my GM, and I would trust him because maybe he knows something about him that we don't. So I really couldn't care less who he brought in, but everything that I've read and I've seen seems like this guy is well respected, really smart, knows his shit. So I think this is great. Like, I think this is really trifecta at the top of the organization.
I'm very interested in it because, I think he's great. I think he's learned under some great baseball minds. But it also interests me in the future, in a year from now, when it's the next offseason, regardless of how we do, a name is going to be out there that is a big name that is not a player. It's going to be Theo. Theo will be back next year.
Yeah.
Jared Porter has worked under Theo Epstein almost his entire career except for 2 years. Jared Porter has been in Major League Baseball since 2004, and it was hired by Theo Epstein with the Red Sox, was with the Red Sox until Theo left in 2013.
This is why
went over to Chicago.
This is why Wendy is the fucking man, and this is why I have him running all the social media. This guy is digging up research. He knows his shit, and he has all the facts. So This guy is not fucking around, and I love it. Look at this.
Theo,
I had no idea about this. This is awesome.
Uncle Stevie hires Jared Porter to just intrigue Theo more. Jared Porter is a Theo guy. He wants Theo to come on. And who knows? Who knows how much longer Sandy's really going to be with the organization?
You said it.
And maybe this,
It's
What?
yeah,
a year or two.
Oh, you
exactly.
said
It's a
that?
year or two. Yeah, Sandy's not going to be here forever.
Right.
And this might be Theo's next step. He will control not just baseball, president of baseball op, but president of the entire team.
Right.
It's a bigger step for him. This just confirms in my mind more that Theo will wind up being a Mets and part of the Mets organization by next year.
That's a dangerous duo at the top, Cohen and Theo.
Oh,
That's
brilliant.
nice. And then like if this guy Porter is as good as advertised, and yeah,
He's
that's
been
pretty good.
he's a great mind. He's a good scouting guy. I mean, like I said, he's been with the Red Sox and the Cubs.
Right.
He has 3 or 4 World Series rings I know of just from scouting and directors of player personnel and assistant. He's been assistant GM in Arizona for 2 years. And I mean, Arizona flies more under the radar being on the West Coast, but
Yeah.
he's done, I mean, him and I don't know who the head GM is down there. I mean, over there, but they've done a great job. I mean, they're building teams that you don't expect to be good going into every season. And then
They're
you
always
always
solid.
look around.
They're
Yeah, you always
solid.
look around August and September, and you're like, how is Arizona still in the race?
Yeah, that's.
I mean, they
right.
always stay afloat. They always make some smart moves. So I'm interested to see him with full reign over himself, and I'm interested to see if this leads to Theo next year.
Yeah.
So.
Mouth, what do you say?
I mean, I like it. I kind of, when I saw it and I saw like who he's been around, it kind of reminded me of, and put it in a football way, it kind of reminded me of Joe Douglas in a way where he's been around. He's never had the chance to have his own run at a GM, but he's been around some of the best minds in the sport. And that kind of reminds me with Joe Douglas being around the Ravens and the Eagles for so long. And he's young. I think he's 36. I think that's what he is. I think he's under 40.
Right.
So, I mean, he's going to be around for a while, and especially if he brings in a guy like Epstein next year. Can't say anything
dude. He's the curse breaker.
Yep. I mean, the one thing about him is he'll go somewhere. He only gets 1 ring, but even if it's just 1, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I don't know, but he got 2 in Boston. I mean, he built some winners in Boston.
Yeah. So we finally got our guy behind the plate. We got our guy at GM. Waiting to get our guy in center field and Springer. Wendy was the first one to break that one. I think we're losing credibility day by day, but it's okay.
Yeah, we slowly. I mean, I guarantee it's done. I feel like it's going to be done tomorrow, and I'm just going to feel like an idiot.
He's just saying tomorrow for days.
I know. Just keep waiting for it.
It's only a matter of time. It's just.
Yeah, no, yeah.
It is. Build strong up the court. Well, here's my question now. Just before we finish this up, say we don't get Bauer, and say we go more for an Odorizzi, a guy of a cheaper caliber. We go for Hendricks. We're not going to be spending as much money that we would be on. Like, say we get Bauer, we're probably going to spend less money than we would for Odorizzi and Hendricks. Like, Bauer's probably going to get $25 million. Combine the two of them, we'll probably only pay about 15 to 20. So, do you think that maybe if you go that route, you make the full push for Francisco Lindor? Or do you think, regardless, whether we go Springer and Bauer or Springer, Odorizzi, Hendricks, either way we're going for Lindor?
We're going to pursue either way.
No, I think that they will be like in the running, like to the very end. There were a few things that I read that said that the Indians almost prefer the Blue Jays because they have that guy Gurriel Jr. or whatever. They have other like really good prospects. I don't know. It's a weird situation, you know. And I like the thing is like we don't necessarily need a shortstop, you know.
No,
obviously Lindor would transcend almost any team, but like it's a tricky position to be honest. I don't know.
And it's not the usual suspects. It's it's the Mets, the Blue Jays. I mean, the Dodgers. They're always in it, but we're looking more at like it's the big markets, but the teams that you don't usually hear in it. I mean, Toronto, the Mets. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's just weird. I feel like the Mets do want to get Lindor because he's, like I said, he's a piece on a contender, like a winning piece on a contender.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they want to be strong up the middle. McCann's a good thing. McCann's an obvious sign. wanting Springer is an obvious sign, and I think Lindor would just solidify that strong up the middle approach. So I don't know.
The Blue Jays are an interesting case though because their biggest contract that they ever gave out was to Russell Martin. That was at 5 years, like 82 million or 85 million. So, and like apparently they have the money to spend, but they choose to do it through trades or whatever in terms of like building up their team. So I just can't see them giving out like 11 years, 320 like that. It just doesn't work in my mind like that, you know. So
Especially if you're paying Guerrero in 4 years. Yeah, Guerrero's 4 years away. Bichette is 4 years away. Biggio is 4 years away. I mean,
yeah,
those are supposedly your big three.
yeah. I don't know. So yeah, because like I read all these things that say Blue Jays, Mets, or Dodgers, or Yankees, blah blah blah. But I just don't. I can't see the Blue Jays. Like the only big name player the Blue Jays ever signed was Roger Clemens, and that was back when 4 years and 40 million was like a big deal. And now James McCann got 4 years and 40 million. So obviously the markets have changed. But yeah. So I don't know. I think the Blue Jays are an interesting situation. But last thing I want to do is I know we kind of did off-season predictions the last show we did, but let's now, after getting Trevor May and James McCann, let's just go around and I guess just go over how we would like to see the off-season go. So personally, we go out, we get Springer, we go out, you know, fuck it, I'm going to say just sign Bauer, just get him, I don't care. Get Trevor Bauer and then I think we need one more reliever because I think like, once we get Springer, the offense is set. I think the offense is already set. I think our offense is going to be awesome, but Springer will definitely take it to that next level. And we need an actual center fielder there for fuck's sake. You know, since Carlos Beltran left, there's been absolutely nothing. But yeah, I think Springer, Bauer, one more bullpen piece. Liam Hendricks would be great. Brad Hand would be great, but you know, not necessary if you go for that guy like Bauer. So, how do you guys want to see it shake out?
You go ahead, Mal. I'm still thinking.
Let's see. I think Springer's gonna happen. It's a matter of when. I don't think it's a matter of if anymore.
Yeah.
The Bauer, I don't know. It's tough. Like I'm like 50-50 with if I think it's gonna happen or not. I want them. I think they would be huge for them. Like I was saying earlier about come playoff time to have two guys like that top of your rotation. But if they don't get him, then I want to see them bolster up the bullpen, get Hendricks, get an Odorizzi, make sure you fill everything that you can out to make up for losing out on a guy like Bauer.
Yeah.
But I do want to see them be active with Lindor. I feel like that's the guy right there where if they can get him and not completely get rid of their prospects like they did with lose a guy like Kellenic.
Stop! Don't
happen
again. Don't talk about it.
I see him. I still follow him on Twitter. I see it all the time.
I had to unfollow, dude. I had to. I can't watch.
It's painful.
He gets like bigger every year too. The guy's ripped.
I know.
He's number 5. He's the number 5 prospect in baseball.
He's gonna be a stud,
number
dude.
5.
He's gonna be a stud.
But if they can go out and get Lindor, because
fucking Brody Van Wagenen,
that the Indians they don't want to go full they don't want to go a full prospect trade. They want major league guys. They want guys that are under control.
Yeah.
Like a Rosario, like a J.D. Davis, Nimmo, guys like that. Now, a better question is like if they don't do a DH, do you go and try to move Dom Smith at that point? Because I mean, it becomes an issue.
I don't know, man.
I mean, it's a bridge you're gonna have to cross.
I think if it's a guarantee that DH will come back in 2022, I think keep Dom and just work out the kinks for a year, throw him in left field or right field, give Pete some days off first base, or like stick him at first. You know, when you play American League teams, put Pete at DH. You know, just work something out because if it's just going to be for 1 year, it's not worth losing. Well, I guess if it's for a guy like Lindor, you might have to bite the bullet on that. But you know, it's not worth losing a talent like Dom Smith if you just have to wait 1 more year. The whole rule is stupid, but I mean, if it's just 1 year, I would try and keep him.
Agreed. I'm trying to think. All right, so I think you definitely gotta go get Springer. That's number 1. I think it's going to be done soon. After that, it's just, I mean, so my thinking is, do you think Cohen wants to go over the luxury tax in his first year?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think if he's definitely wants to be aggressive, then yes, we're going to go get Bauer. I think we will wind up with Bauer. I think we're going to be active in the Lindor trade market. And then I really wouldn't be surprised if, Lindor starts looking bleaker. That's not going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if we call Colorado and talk about Nolan Arenado to play third base. I think that's also a reasonable one.
Yeah.
Then most importantly, we all mentioned it, the first off-season podcast we did. We got to make sure we extend Mikey. Make sure we haven't
Yeah, I'm curious
in the
to see how they're
time
gonna do that.
extending Mikey. So that's mainly the way I think the rest of the offseason is going to go. Talk and try to find that big name guy in trade, get a Bauer, and get Springer. I mean, because I think if you think about it, if you trade Colorado, I think you can trade Jimenez, JD Davis, and maybe one of your middle tier pitching prospects for Arenado, or Nimmo and JD Davis. And if you go Nimmo and JD Davis, you slide Arenado at third.
They lost David Dahl too, so maybe they'll take like a guy like Nimmo to replace him in the outfield or something.
Exactly, Nimmo and left. I mean, say you do that. Say you trade Nimmo, Josh Wolf, and JD Davis. Arenado at third, Dom in left, Springer in center, Conforto in right, Pete at first, Jeff at second, Rosie at short. The pitching staff, however it turns out, McCann at catcher, that is a phenomenal lineup.
Yeah, no doubt.
We'll see how it goes. I'm interested to see the rest of the way.
All right, fellas, that's it really. It was a productive day. Good day for the Mets. Happy they finally got McCann. I kind of see him as like a Paul LaDuca type almost. I think he's gonna be like that kind of a player for us.
I love that.
Maybe I could be wrong, but that's just kind of what I'm forecasting. I think he'll be great. I think the pitchers will like him. Everyone's just really enthusiastic right now, all throughout the organization, the fans. I think we just lost Malfa. But that's really it. So we might be back for a Springer signing. That's to be determined. But if not, we'll be back soon after that. I hope maybe for Bauer, maybe for somebody else. Oh, Malfa's coming back in. But yeah, that's really it. Hold on, Malfa. I'll let you be in the closing here.
Well, technical difficulties.
Yeah, that's all right. We're just closing out. So yeah, Malfa missed. So Springer signing, we might be back. TBD. We'll figure that out. If not, we'll be back soon after that. And until then, LFGM.
Yep.
LFGM.
Catch you boys next time.
That's it.